we fucking go! You're listening to Bread and Circuses.
It's like the mob media, for one, is the entire world populated. Like, everybody's on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Fucking the UK is on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately.
With Caleb Salvatore.
Well, they can't go to the comedy shows because there's a 2-drink minimum, and you can't mix the Percocet you've been stealing from work with liquor.
And Nick Kohler.
There literally be people in the fucking 80s that didn't know that nutting in a girl would make her pregnant.
No one's asked that question. What did those families do to provoke Alex Jones like that?
You know what'll solve all of these racial police protests? A Pepsi.
$17.92. One of my homies bought this, and we were gonna have a party, and we forgot to invite people because we got too high, and he just left it here. So I'm like, this is mine now. I don't know.
It tastes like if you turned a caramel apple into like
yes,
a green caramel apple.
It does. It's actually, I enjoy it. If you guys want more, help yourselves.
Is that the same whiskey or same bourbon that you and I can't think of the other army guy. What's his name?
Locklear?
Yeah, is that Tim's?
No, this is someone else's. Locklear used to bring good bourbon over here too, though. It was dope shit. We can start here.
And then you guys always got high whenever he was over too. So
yeah.
Well, we'll have to have you on the podcast. You can come over and I'll pour you some of my whiskey.
Fuck yeah, I'm totally down. Totes down. No, we're here with Brent Bradley and Noe Ramirez. We're 2 comics here from Omaha, and you're from Austin, I guess, technically. And they just started a podcast, so we're talking shit with them. We just had like a whole 10-minute segment. We were riffing. It was fucking awesome. And we can't post any of it because we would all be banned from several venues. We'd probably have like libel charges against us.
Yeah, but we got good momentum now.
It was like a warm up. Yeah.
Great charisma with each other.
We developed. We worked on the chemistry. It's like the shoot around before a basketball game, you know, that kind of shit. So now we're talking about bourbon, which is totally not anything to do with.
I'm digging your Harry Potter glass, by the way.
This is my girl's Harry Potter glass.
Don't push it off. It's great. I love it. I'm not talking shit. That's great. Drink out of that Hogwarts cup.
It's butter beer. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm in the process of watching the movies. I haven't seen any of them. I've only seen like the first 4.
What?
Yeah.
You said I haven't seen any of them.
Well, I up until like a week ago, I hadn't seen it. No, I've seen
that's some of them.
I've seen it's like 12 hours of time dedicated. Like I fucking no. It's I'd never seen him. My mom went through this like Christian phase growing up when all the movies were popular, where Harry Potter was the devil, but Lord of the Rings was okay. And that's how I got into it.
You gotta just do a whole bunch of shrooms and watch fucking Harry Potter from start to finish. Can you imagine?
That actually sounds kind of fun.
It's hard for me to get into Harry Potter, man. I've said this on our podcast before. I don't like if Voldemort was really that evil, he definitely would have just thrown Harry off of a roof when he was a baby.
When he was a baby.
Yeah.
Voldemort has standards. He can't kill babies. Okay.
If I was the Dark Lord, I'd just be like chucking him against a wall as hard as I could. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point. I think it's interesting how people try to make these like villains in like the movies like do terrible things.
Yeah.
Like, if he existed, it'd be so bad. It's like, hey man, way worse people already exist
in real life. In real life.
Voldemort tried to kill a baby, meanwhile Epstein's raping them, and that's not a big deal.
Yeah, like the real Dark Lord would have definitely raped the baby and then put it against the wall. Like that's evil being.
I mean, real evil exists like worse than Voldemort, like Hitler, fucking Stalin, fucking Epstein, the apartment manager that won't fix my fucking sink. Like there's some terrible people in this world.
The guy that cut me off in traffic on the way over here. Fuck that guy.
The lady who underfilled my Starbucks.
Yeah. Fucking trash. Do you guys ever watch
She who will not be named.
Yeah. Did you ever watch American Dad?
Oh, I fucking love American Dad.
Have you seen the episode where Stan had never killed anybody? So Roger told him, he's like, I got the perfect guy to pop your cherry.
It's that pedophile.
He's like, this guy's a pedophile, triple homicide murderer. I was just going off on all this shit. He's like, he traffics kids and drugs for side money. They get to his house. He's like, kill him, Stan. And he goes, wait, are you the guy that freaked out when I cut you at Quiznos? That's the real evil in this world. Well, it's like I used to work at a job that required me to wear like not a uniform, but you could tell I was at work kind of. You could kind of tell I was at work situation. And like I'd walk in a Subway and I'd see like a clearly homeschool mom with her 4 kids get out and try to beat me to the door. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. You know I have 30 minutes. What are you doing? Like you know I'm on a time frame and I would race them. I would blow past them. I'd let the door slam in their face. I'm like, I'm trying to eat somewhat healthy at Subway here. And here you are.
Every time I get to a restaurant and it looks like there's a wait, I literally like chuck my wife out the door. I'm like, go get in line as I park the car. I'm like, those bitches just got out. Make sure you beat them to the door. Run.
You know what I want? Order it.
Yeah, go sit down and get us a fucking table.
Rule number 1, cardio.
Yeah, no shit.
That's right.
Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like you see like you go in there and you're like, you go to like Cheddar's and it's like, we have a 2.5 hour wait. I'm like, who the fuck, what kind of loser waits 2.5 hours at a fucking Cheddar's? Go somewhere else.
Apparently me. I'll take it.
How high am I?
I'll go wait at the best
I'm surprised. I get surprised by the people that like will wait that long without any like protest.
Yeah.
2.5 hours. That's fine.
All right.
Like,
Yeah, sure.
Really?
I got nothing going the rest of the day.
What kind of life does that
hours
person
at
have?
8 p.m. Oh yeah, fair enough. All right.
Fair enough. That's
Take a seat.
You know, Cheddar's is a quality restaurant for what you pay, though. Like, I can't even knock Cheddar's.
I ate at Cheddar's today.
Did you?
For lunch. 100%.
Cheddar's is too nice for lunch.
I've never been there after, like, before 7 o'clock in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
Cheddar's is too nice for lunch where I come from.
It was fucking delicious. And my buddy got the Monte Cristo, which ties right into my fucking sandwich joke. I was like, give me some of that Trump sandwich, baby.
The
It's
Monte
not
Cristo.
good.
Monte Cristo? No, it's a terrible sandwich.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
I
not
don't-
good.
He grabbed me right by the pussy.
Yeah, as it should.
I don't.
Nobody understands why I said that other than you and me.
Yeah,
I think I understand. Monte Cristo, that's it's what? It's ham?
It's like ham, turkey, and
Dog
cheese,
wants some.
and then it's deep fried. It's a
I could
real
make that at
American
home.
Put it in
sandwich.
batter, right?
Yeah.
It's like in a batter.
Yeah,
And
it's a
then
batter, and then they deep fry and they sprinkle fucking powdered sugar on top, and you dip it in jam.
Your joke is solid because it does sound good. Like,
Ew.
in your mind, it sounds like okay,
Sounds delicious.
sweet, savory. They give you like a little raspberry
Is it-
sauce or whatever
Yeah,
it's called
yeah.
next to it.
Is that a Cuban thing? Is
Monte
that
Cristo?
Monte Cristo? Is it a Cuban thing?
You know what?
Or-
I think that's a
Nick, are you looking it up?
I looked at what the sandwich looks like. It looks almost like somebody just got really high and just got like,
Yeah,
a bunch
that's
of random
exactly
shit.
Let's,
Dude.
that's
It's like
how
powdered
most.
sugar on the bread. What?
Oh, it is. It is.
Some guy had just finished making some corn dogs, had a bunch of batter left, and then got really high. And
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I just went through all these corn dogs. Let me make a sandwich.
I've never eaten
Wait
a
a
Monte
minute.
Cristo high.
It's like fucking French toast bread with like ham and cheese. It's like, okay, dude, like, all right, get this. I'm gonna make a ham and cheese sandwich, but
On
the
French
fucking
toast.
bread is French toast. Like, deep fry that bitch.
Dude, most of the great ideas have come from people that were probably high out of their fucking mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it had to have been made by some French high guys because like it translates to Mr. Crunchy,
Oh God,
which is fucking hilarious.
I'll never eat one again if it's a French sandwich.
it's French. I guess
I would
Monte
never
Cristo
order
does
it
sound
without
French.
ordering it as a Mr. Crunchy.
He's like,
I get a Mr.
I'm gonna call it Mr. Crunchy, man.
The Cheddar's and they freak out the 17-year-old waitress. You're like, I need a Mr. Crunchy.
Dude, that sounds like a fucking sushi roll. What are you talking about?
Have you guys heard the story about how Justin Healy freaked out the waitress at Chili's?
Oh my goodness. Stories
You've heard
of
the fight
Justin
story?
Healy and Chili's are-
I've heard the fight story.
That's what it was. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, we've told it on the show before. That's why I didn't want to repeat it if you hadn't
But
heard
what
it.
did he say?
Well, no, she was just freaked out by the fact that Justin was about to fight this homeless man. Because if you guys don't know Justin, like if you're out with Justin and someone confronts him about anything, there is nothing it is not in Justin's system to go, you know what? You were right, man. That's my bad. I'll calm down. Absolutely not. It is Justin is escalate it to the next level until you either back down or are ready to come to fucking blows with him. And those are the 2 levels Justin has. And that's like we're on edge when we go out with him. We went out to Scary Acres with him and his girlfriend during Halloween. And he's just everything, fag this, retard that, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, Justin, keep it down. And he's like, Caleb and Mia, you guys are the most offensive couple I know. I'm like, dude, you don't get it. We don't care if you say the word, but someone else might.
Yeah.
And given your history, I don't want to break up a fucking fight in the haunted house line. that's I don't care.
It's a very Omaha thing to happen. Somebody just utter the word fag, like it's some guy behind him gets pissed off in a haunted house, and then they get into a fight in a haunted house.
Dude, that's such a weird thing. It's like with no other words, you automatically identify with them.
Yeah.
Like if somebody who's slightly overweight was in line, and then somebody else said like porker in front of them, they wouldn't be like, "Hey."
I guess
these other words.
Do you mind?
Hey, that's me.
I guess with retard, they probably wouldn't be able to understand it, huh? So it's
No, it's always the family member. They're like, my brother is retarded. I'm like, you just said the word. What are you talking about?
Do you think it'd be okay to let like a retarded person go to Scary Acres, dude? Like, that'd be a pretty trippy experience for them.
I don't know, but I would absolutely fund the YouTube video for it, the series of it, absolutely in a fucking heartbeat.
Somebody with Down syndrome would be in there, and like one of the people would be like screaming in face. He'd be like, "Get away from me, retard!"
And then just knock them out with that vicious strength.
That strength.
Get the fuck out of my face. Bow!
They're hitters, bro.
Now that zombie's asleep for real.
What were you saying? No way.
I don't fuck with haunted houses.
You don't do haunted houses at all?
At all. I've been to like 2 in my entire life. And I was
really
before I turned 15. And then like from there on out, just a giant pussy.
You scared of them?
Yes.
Fuck, wait.
Yes.
Are haunted houses white people things? Is that a white people thing?
No, I see black people there all the time.
No, I have friends who are brown and they go. But like, it's just not like I don't watch scary movies. I just don't like being afraid.
You did that podcast with me and Zach.
That wasn't a scary movie.
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, man. You should see like the haunted house in town of Juarez, man. Those are like on another fucking level.
Exactly.
Like,
are they really?
Isn't that where they actually stab you?
there is a threat, but it's not the workers. It's like somebody behind you that's like, likes your watch or some shit. Like,
no, that's Denver where they actually stab you. And that's just called downtown.
That's not really getting stabbed. Those are just dirty heroin.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's just you stepping on a broken needle. Yeah.
I was so scared in Denver. It was like a fucking because it's the first, I've been to San Francisco. I've been, all over the place, right? That Denver was the Minneapolis, which is supposedly really bad. Denver was the first city I've ever been in where you see like entire blocks where the homeless just took it over. Like an entire encampment, like the businesses just run out of business because no one wants to shop there because it's so scary. And it's just overrun by tents. And you're walking through this at night and it's like a fucking haunted house, but the workers can actually kill you. Yeah. And they're jumping out and screaming shit at you. Someone had a fucking boa constrictor.
You know what?
Those aren't like, I was gonna say those aren't like the California homeless. Those are like the Viking homeless because they're in like a cold city.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's homeless in a cold city, by the way? Fucking
maniacs.
Idiots.
Yeah. Don't be homeless anywhere else.
Crazy Viking people.
Rent's the same in San Francisco as Denver. $0.
Noah had something, but bring me back to this homeless rant because I got something for you.
Go ahead. So that's what I noticed was Caleb was saying that that's the only city. I'm like, well, Austin's like that,
bro.
Never been Austin. There's slightly less pussies than the people in Denver, so they just walk through those motherfuckers. Like 6th Street, when we went to a comedy show, we went to Vulcan Gas Company, and we're walking down 6th Street, and there's like when you pull up to the main street, it's like a kind of a highway that leads to 6th Street.
Yeah, that
whole like underpass, there's a freeway going over you, is full of tents. Yeah, there's homeless people everywhere. Yeah, but no one cares, bro. Yeah. They're just like bumping shoulders with you. Like, hey man, you got $1, and like everywhere.
Do you know how many doses of Narcan I gave under that bridge? I know the bridge you're talking about.
Are you guys both from Houston, by the way?
No, Brent's from Austin.
Yeah,
Austin.
Well,
okay.
I've been around. I'm from Iowa originally, and then I was a medic down in Austin for about 6 years. And I got to deal with that homeless problem firsthand, and I got some fucking crazy stories. But the homeless people in Austin will fuck with you. Like, they don't give a fuck. We went to New York a couple of months ago, and everybody talks about homeless people out there. And like, you walk past a homeless person out there, and they just like don't fucking say anything to you. They sit there with their sign. Like, people in Austin will fucking harass you.
Yeah, that's how Denver is. Yeah,
it's
Denver.
fucking terrible.
Vegas is that way too. Vegas, they've more kept them off the strip, but Vegas, they will get in your fucking face. They will follow you. They will, like, we got followed by a homeless guy in Vegas because he said I looked at him. I didn't look at him, but he followed us for like 2 or 3 blocks, like yelling at us, like telling me to turn around and fight him. I'm like, bro, I don't know what kind of fight. I'm not gonna fight you.
Don't
like
on the street, bro. Be less easy to look at.
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe if you didn't have that Burger King crown on your fucking head and a sword in your hand.
Well, we're fucking, and he was like, tell me you have your gun. And I'm like, I can't fly with my gun. No, I don't have my fucking gun. We need to go. You don't understand. I'm just as scared as you right now. We've got to go. Like, I'm not going to fight this maniac. This guy has nothing to lose. I do. Like, I'm already at a disadvantage here because God knows what he's packing on him.
We had a regular, we call them frequent flyers. As people that call 911 all the fucking time.
Yeah.
We had a frequent flyer that we nicknamed him Karaoke Jim. His name wasn't Jim. I don't even know what it was, but he would just sing to us the entire way to the hospital. Like, it didn't matter what time I picked him up. He was fucking hammered and would just sing like Britney Spears and shit at the top of his lungs. It was like the only homeless guy I didn't give a fuck about like running on. I was like, oh, it's Jim. Let's go.
That's fucking great.
What a fucking champ, dude.
Yeah.
Are you from Omaha originally?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you were from.
I was not born in the United States, but other than that, yeah.
I thought you were from Texas.
You're a dreamer.
I went there. I went to Texas just for like a vacation. Not.
Oh, I thought you were right.
We were there for a while. We spent the entire like 2 days. We were there on 6th Street or around 6th Street, which is like the high area.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting time, dude. Like we went to a comedy show at Vulcan, and then we walked down the street. And there's just like club, like bars everywhere. But the people we were with wanted to go to a club and like dance.
Yeah.
So we found this like small room. And I'm telling you, the club we went into was like the size of your entire apartment. Like,
seriously,
not very big. But we walk in and there's no one in there. It's like midnight.
It's a comedy club?
No,
nightclub.
Club, like a nightclub. We walk in there and there's no one in there. There's a small bar in one of the corners, like where your kitchen would be, and like no one else. So we're just hanging out for a little bit. And I mean, in the matter of like a minute, like literally 60 seconds, it filled to the point where you could not move.
Seriously?
There was like shoulder to shoulder. And it was like COVID was a thing already.
You got COVID.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, tonight's the night. I was like, you know what I mean? But it was wild.
I have been there so many times where I'm like, yep, this is it. And then nothing I don't get it. I'm like, it's never been the night. So who fucking knows?
I don't even know where I got it because I did get COVID in October, I think. I imagine I got it at work because everybody at that mechanic shop I worked at got it. They had to close the entire shop for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
but
imagine having your car there.
I know.
It's just stuck.
Hey, you know that oil change you needed?
Your tire rotation.
That would fucking suck, dude.
I would be so fucking mad. I'm
like
not even
to work.
lie.
Like they're calling into work. They think you're just fucking making it up. That totally sounds like something you'd make up. Like
I would be. I'm like, Justin Healy gives me shit all the time. He's like, you're like an Italian Karen. Like you get fucking pissed off in like these customer service situations, and you get like the Brooklyn accent coming out, even though your whole family's from the Midwest. It's like,
East Coast accent.
Yeah,
it gets the job done.
They're like, oh shit,
sure.
Hold on, Salvatore. This guy's got connections. Like, I better get this fixed right now. It's
Mafia.
Mafia. Her brother acts like that all the time. He's always talking about. He's like, you Dagos, I know how you do it, and I'm like. My family is from the Midwest. When we have get-togethers, we eat fried chicken and baked beans. Like, we are white. Yeah, macaroni. Now, literally, we are white. We are not Italian.
And the fried chicken comes from a gas station.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Hy-Vee.
I picked it up from like Popeyes on the way there.
The supermercado, like that, like Mexican supermarket, has the bombest fried chicken.
Jacobos?
Large events. No, not Jacobos. It's just like a Hy-Vee, but like brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and they're like, it's great. Like that's what
I miss the taquerias down in Austin. When I was a medic, we had some of the greatest food right around our stations. We'd just go get fresh breakfast tacos in the morning from this little fucking trailer.
That's the nice part about like being in a city where that's very common, is that the prices are so low too.
Yeah.
Because in Omaha, if you want to get a burrito now,
it's like $8.
Like $8.
It's fucking stupid
for a burrito.
Even if you go to like Amigos,
and it's like a burrito that's mostly rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like not a great burrito.
Yeah.
There was this little truck. We were out in the boonies at this station, and there was this little trailer called El Pollo Rico.
Oh boy.
And it was my favorite place to go.
Yeah.
As a public servant, I fucking hate people.
Yeah.
And so it was great because I would walk up and they spoke no English.
Yeah.
And I spoke no Spanish. So I would just go, dos.
Dos.
They would give me half a chicken, bell peppers, tortillas, and everything. I would hand them a $10 bill. And that was it. I was no pleasantries exchanged. It was, give me my fucking chicken. Here's your money. I'm on my way. It was amazing.
I was listening to Kill Tony the other day, and this guy came up and he did this bit about Austin because he was just new in the city. And it was hilarious because it was so accurate. He's like, Austin, the city where even the restaurants are homeless. So many taco trucks.
He's in Austin, like the food truck capital of the United States.
They say it's like barbecue capital too. I don't know.
There's some fucking phenomenal barbecue in there.
I want to go. See, everyone hypes up Kansas City barbecue, and I went to Gates, which is like one of the like staple marks. I don't know if you've ever been there. Yeah. It wasn't even that. It was, the sauce tasted like Taco Bell mild sauce. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And you go in there and the ordering's all crazy. You walk in, you better know your order when you're the sixth person in line, because that's when they're going to fucking take it.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's seriously, they're at first I thought the lady was strung out, but this is how they're trained. May I help you? That's how they take your fucking order. You walk in, they scream at you.
You gotta just guess who you're talking to.
Yeah,
and you just people in line. And you're like, oh, I should make eye contact.
I've heard barbecue is kind of like Mexican food is, where you got to go into like the fucking real ghetto place.
On the wall.
Hey, not even that. You got to get it from like a fucking. You got to get it from a U-Haul truck that's been converted into a fucking, like restaurant.
There's some spots around here like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't remember the name, but there's a couple.
Heartland's really good.
Heartland's really good. There's another, I don't remember the name, but they literally have what he said. They have like one of those, a small enclosed trailer, and they cut like the side out of it so that they can make it into like a smoker. Yeah. And they just smoke meat in a trailer.
They actually opened one. It's a brick and mortar store. It's not a food truck. It's right up the street from here. It's by the Chinese massage place. It's open till 4 a.m. Draw your own conclusions there. But no, it's called Rib Shack Smokehouse, and the owner, Jackie, she's super cool. They moved up here from St. Louis, and it's like St. Louis barbecue in this little fucking hole in the wall spot in West Omaha. And it's like nice and it's clean when you go in there, and the fucking food is bomb. Like we eat there all the time. They're so nice to us. And it's fucking, give them just a free shout out. They can pay for advertising later, but I'll send them the bill. Mentioned your show on my podcast.
It'll be $37. Because let's be real, who's listening?
Yeah, it's like
that'll be
our
50
listeners.
Yeah. That's 50 new customers.
That's right. Every single one of them. They are loyal to us. Okay. If nothing else. So, but no, it's great. It's like St. Louis style bar. And I'd never had St. Louis style barbecue until they moved up here. And it's fucking, we eat there like twice a month. Like it's good. I don't really know anywhere else. Like I know that 402 barbecue gets talked up.
I don't really know what the difference between different kinds of barbecue, where like I know like what's Kansas City, what's St. Louis, what's
neither would I.
One's made in Kansas City, and then the other one is made in St. Louis. I'm convinced that's the only fucking.
St. Louis is a little bit more gun violence than Kansas City.
I think barbecue is the equivalent to like bourbon or wine, where you have to really, really do it like consistently to know the differences in what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see like these wine aficionados. It's like, I honestly could not tell the difference between $100 bottle of wine and like a Trader Joe's like $8 bottle of wine.
Right,
I cannot. Well, boxed wine, maybe. I might be able to tell. If you gave me boxed wine, I could probably be like, yeah, this is some cheap bullshit, but it'll do the trick. But like people that drink like these like $150 bottles of wine, and like you showed me that picture of your friend in Vegas with like a $40,000 bottle of liquor. Like, I couldn't feel good about myself if I drank a $40,000 bottle of liquor. I'd be like calculating every pour. I'm like, how much was this one costing me?
See, now once you get up to that price, that makes sense. But like this is the type of stuff that like if I'm gonna spend like $60, $70,
this is like a $60 bottle.
Yeah. Like you're not drinking a whole bottle. Well, hopefully you're not drinking a whole bottle of this by yourself in one night. Like a bottle of wine, you can cash that in 30 fucking minutes.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Like, this is some shit that you can sip on for a while.
I can definitely tell the difference in vodka. Like I can tell the difference between a bottle of like Ciroc versus like a bottle of Kettle One, you know.
We were talking about that the other night. You could vodka, rum, bourbon, wine to an extent, but whiskey, no. It all tastes like dog shit. That's the fucking drunk Irish pieces of shit. It just all tastes like shit. But I enjoy it for some reason.
I can drink like Crown Royal like a lot. I like drinking Crown Royal.
That's black people whiskey, not Irish whiskey.
Is Crown Royal black people whiskey? I don't know.
I think what Caleb means is poor people whiskey.
Crown Royal is expensive.
Yeah, Crown Royal costs a lot of money.
Whiskey.
Be more inclusive.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like something like this, I'll spend like nice money for nicer because like I can give this to people when they come over. We can enjoy this for like months, right? It's $60, $70, and it's fucking good. Like you should. We actually got this at Supermercado. That's where me and my friend got it. But no, it's good. And it was probably like $20 less there than it was anywhere else. But no, and but yeah, I can't understand 150, 200, $300 and just a bottle of wine that I'm probably gonna kill in a night.
I think in all of those type of things, like food, wine, I'm of the belief of like, I want to enjoy the experience, which is why I'm overweight. So like, I want to like things to taste good.
Sure.
That's why I'm like, I'll drink, like right now, this tastes good. So I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to just drink terrible tasting whiskey because it's whiskey.
I will if I want to get fucked up.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's the goal. But like I much rather like at home, if I'm going to drink, I'll pour myself a glass of these like squirt with like some Malibu rum.
There you go.
And I'll drink like 17 of those. Like get fucked up also. It'll be fun. It'll taste good in the way.
My girl got me for Christmas one of those things you put it down and it's like a circle, like a coaster type thing, and you put wood chips on it and you torch the wood chips. And once they start smoking, you put the glass on it and then you take the glass off and you pour it full of whiskey and it gives it like a smoky taste. I haven't used it yet, but I guess they're like,
I've heard that's like
legit.
I had the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I've heard that's like the way to do it, man.
So I had a smoky old fashioned at Jay Gilbert's. It's that little steakhouse that's connected to the Marriott downtown. It's the best fucking drink I've ever had in my life.
Really?
It came in a decanter, like one of them fancy ones that sits on its side and spins.
I got like a skull decanter,
but it was filled with hickory smoke and then corked, and they swished it around, and it was out of this fucking world. It was like $20.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
But it was the best drink I'd ever had in my life.
Well, I mean, the fucking problem is like men, we have to lower our standards for drinks. Like we're expected to drink the shit that really, I mean, let's be real. If you're going to offer me just as a drink with my meal, I'm going to take Coke over the best bourbon you got because it just tastes, it doesn't burn. But like women, it's like strawberry fruity pink drinks and stuff like that crap you just got her from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like that. I'm like, let me just like give me the fucking, like I used to not even care. And then I started doing comedy and I got a bunch of shit when I would order like a Cosmopolitan and I'm like, okay.
No.
I don't care who you are. Everybody likes a pina colada.
No, those are great.
I want the gayest drink you have.
They're the best.
All
it's the
time.
best,
dude. I used to get so much shit for that. Like, and I always tell, like, I don't drink beer at all. In my entire life, I've maybe had one full beer.
Really?
And when I was growing up, I was like 14, and my best friend had a pool table in his basement and a full bar. And the rule was you could drink anything from the bar, you could hang out in the basement, you just couldn't leave the basement. Yeah. So we started drinking bourbon and whiskey and vodka, and I just never. I think we can agree like beer's an acquired taste. Right?
Sure.
So like never acquired the taste for it. And people would fuck with me hardcore in college. They're like, you don't drink beer, you pussy. I'm like, I'm playing beer pong with vodka. You fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Unequivocally, that is way worse.
Yeah.
Like, how old were you when you first started drinking? First drink. I mean, not like accidentally took a drink of my dad's beer. Like first time I drank.
I think actually it was probably 16.
16. How about you?
I had it pretty young. I remember.
He's like, I'm Mexican, motherfucker.
No lie. I remember being like,
he's like, tequila was in my mom's fucking nipples when she was breastfeeding me.
What part of Mexico are you from?
Age of probably.
Oh, he doesn't have his headphones in. He can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. I got hot. I'm sorry.
You open a window. Jesus Christ.
You also got a flannel
No, it does get hot here with the lights.
No, I remember being around the age of like 9 or 10 and like having a couple sips of beer.
Yeah.
And like my
I did that too.
dad like kind of like handing it back and forth a few times.
Right, but like when did you sit down and like you're drinking 2-3 beers at a time? Like when was that?
Probably 16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Nick?
No way. What part of Mexico are you from, by the way?
So I'm from Guerrero, which is like the southernmost part on Mexico.
He's
So you know how
basically
Mexico
South
looks like a
American.
shoe?
Yeah,
Like-
he's basically
So-
Guatemalan.
Yeah. No, not that far.
No, I'm not saying that.
Relax. I'm not for
It's like easy.
Apparently, that's like calling an Omaha
Guatemalans.
resident from Counts of Bluffs. I guess that's the same thing.
No, but,
It really kind of is. Like,
yeah. Well, the
Mordor.
people where I'm from, I guess, don't drink a ton, but like where my stepfather was from, which was Michoacan, is where like all the drug cartels are at.
Yeah.
And like those people drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's where he was from. So that's who I was around. So
Yeah.
he would drink a ton. Yeah.
I live in El Paso, which I can see Juarez like from my front door. So everyone there is basically like a freaking paisano, dude. Everyone's there like a country boy, just drinks like beer and wears
Bud
cowboy
Light.
hats.
Yep.
I drink like Indio or like Corona or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
Nick,
Pacifico.
Nick, how old were you?
the first time I ever had like a drink was, I think I was like 12 or 13. I remember
Okay.
I was like
Now
in the
I feel bad
7th
about
grade. Well, I remember I came home from a 4th of July party. Like I was hanging out with a friend and for the 4th of July. And for some reason I had to go home. Like they were like, this was kind of shitty on my friend's part, but he was like, "Hey, you gotta go, man." I'm like, "What?" Like I thought I was hanging out here for 4th of July. So I walk home, and my fucking older brother, who's still in high school, is like, the parents are gone. I just walked in on him having a fucking party at our house, and I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, you give me $10, I won't tell mom about it, And fucking, he had a bottle of fucking Smirnoff in the fridge, and I was just like, I just like took a swig out of the bottle.
Gross.
I was like, "Oh, this is horrible. Why are you doing
It was
this?"
terrible. I wanted to pull the room before I told mine, so I didn't feel like a degenerate, but I'm okay now that he said he was younger than me. No, it was the same thing. I was like 9 or 10. I swigged the drink of my dad's beer on accident, but I thought it was my pop. I legit didn't do it on purpose. That doesn't count. I was 14 or 15. We went over to a friend's house, and my fucking introduction to alcohol was Southern Comfort.
Ooh.
So you can see why I didn't drink much through my teenage years. That was my introduction, was Southern Comfort. We experimented. We would steal from my friend's parents' liquor cabinet. Like it was like, we would try like vodka, Bacardi, just stuff like that. And then, it was whatever. But yeah, the Southern Comfort really set me off. I had a bad experience when I was like 17. I didn't drink again until I turned like 20. So it was a while, but
Dude, you want to hear the story about the first time I drank?
fuck yes. Drinking what drove?
Drank and drove. Yeah.
Is the statute up?
Well, so this is what. So you'll like the fact that like our drink of choice, because it was easy to sneak out of my buddy's dad's house because it wasn't in the basement.
Yeah.
It was purple Powerade and Everclear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I grew. That's what I grew up
get
drinking
fucking
on in
killed.
high school too, man.
Classy like that. I still can't drink purple Powerade. Like the smell of it makes me want to vomit.
Everclear got me banned from a bowling alley. Continue though.
I'm not surprised that you were banned from a bowling alley at all.
I'll tell that story later.
So my buddy comes over and we're playing like old school Madden.
Yeah.
And it was
Rest in
super
peace,
easy
by the way.
to
Rest in
kick
peace.
field goals, right? Yes, rest in peace, John Madden. Gotta fucking love that guy. And super easy to kick field goals. And we're like, all right, we'll know we're fucked up and we can't make field goals.
So like one of the years where like Michael Vick is really good in it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're playing, and then all of a sudden I shank a field goal, and I'm like, oh fuck. And then no joke, 2 seconds later, my mom calls.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, hey, she's like, what are you guys doing? I was like, oh, we're hanging out at the house playing video games. They weren't supposed to be home for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And she goes, remember that motorcycle you wanted to buy? I was like, yeah. She was like, get in the truck and bring it over to this city we're in. We're going to let you buy it. And I'm like,
Oh my
fucking
God.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. What a terrible timing.
Yeah.
Why is there shit from a fucking TV show?
From like a comedy movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, we just put a pizza in the oven, so it's gonna be like 20 minutes before I can leave. And so we fly to our bowling alley in our little one-horse fucking town. We go to the bowling alley, order as much fried food as we can because we have no idea what takes care of fucking booze.
Yeah,
I just
nothing.
smash it, and I drive like 20 miles an hour for like an hour to this town, just like 2 towns over. They're like, what took you so long? And I was like, the roads are bad.
It's June.
It's like June. It's literally like May. Yeah. And my mom never found out. She's never gonna listen to this shit because she can care less. So I guess
It's all good.
Be a secret. But yeah, first time I ever drank and drove to go pick up a motorcycle.
I don't know. Like I had. I never drank and drove really. I mean, like everyone's like had a couple beers and like probably shouldn't drive, but I never got like fucked up and drove. Like bad experiences and like family passed, and then fucking you guys might not have heard me and Ali almost got killed by a drunk driver doing shows in Iowa one time.
Oh shit! I did not hear that.
I didn't hear like in detail.
So we were coming from a show in we were doing a show in Des Moines, which I ate absolute shit at, and I think that's the one that got me banned from said club that we won't mention, Voldemort Club. And we're coming back, so we had an Airbnb in fucking some weird town that I thought, I'm like, hey, I'm saving us a ton of money, but it was like 30 minutes out of the way, and I don't know dick about Iowa, so like I thought it was a great deal. And we're going back to our Airbnb because we got a show in Sioux City the next night, and so we're going back to the Airbnb. It's a 2-lane fucking highway, no lights anywhere, like in the country. And next thing I know, like I'm just driving, Ali's asleep, I'm chilling, I'm listening. I remember the song was Last Day by Joe Budden. Can't listen to it anymore, especially because of the name. It was very ironic. And
Joe Budden's terrible.
Yeah, and his podcast, Joe Budden's terrible. And it was old school Joe Budden. But so I'm driving, and next thing I know, fucking headlights coming right at me. And Ali, poor guy, the first thing he woke up to was me going, fuck, fuck, fuck. And the car going into the ditch. The truck threw us into the fucking ditch. We get out of the vehicle. I like, it was so weird because like, it's you, like we were like, the guy was probably going 70, right? It was on a highway and he was probably speeding, and we were going, it was like 50 was the speed limit. We were going the speed limit, and we get hit, and I'm like, I remember getting hit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die. Like it was going, like everything, you know, I say everything slows down. It's true, because I'm like, people don't get hit head on by pickup trucks going this fast and live. I'm gonna die, and I was cool with it for some reason. Like I wasn't happy. I didn't want to die, but I'm like, well, the logic of this makes sense. And it was like,
I've been sad for a long time.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
yeah, I'm like, I don't want to die. I got stuff I want to do. I got people I want to see, but you know. This is it. That's cool. Like I said,
don't have to go to work
nothing
tomorrow.
I can do. Yeah, I'm off work, you know. But like, what's gonna happen with the show? But so we get thrown into the ditch. Everything settles. There's no more noise, no more commotion. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta be paralyzed. That's what I said out loud. So I started wiggling my legs, and I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm like, well, Ali's gotta be dead. So that was what I thought. So I turn over. I'm like. And then Ali's sitting there, like he's just in shock and pain. And I'm like, holy fuck, we got lucky. So I got out of my car. There was I made sure Ali was okay because I didn't give a fuck about the dude that hit us. I knew he was drunk. I didn't see him. I knew you fucking drifted off on the fucking road. You're drunk. That's like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not stupid. So there was a witness that saw it, and he comes over. And he's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, I don't know what's up with this guy. And he like pulls him out of the truck, and he's just passed out. And I go, he's like, I don't think he's okay. He might be dead. I'm like, I like look at him. I put my finger on his neck to check his pulse. I'm like, he's fine. He's like, I could smell it on his breath. I'm like, he's fine. He's just fucking drunk. And I like shake him, and I woke him up. And I'm like, hey, dumbass, how much have you had to fucking drink tonight? And he goes, it was a stressful week. And it's gonna get a lot fucking worse now, retard.
Fair enough.
All right,
I was like, I have a stressful life, you fucking cocksucker. That doesn't mean you can go out and fucking kill somebody, you stupid piece of shit. And the witness is like, the guy that witnessed it, he's like, okay, it's probably time for you to go take a timeout. It's like,
He's like, you have a head injury.
Yeah,
For sure.
well,
You need to sit down.
I said, no, I'm Italian, you know, I was angry. So I was like, the EMTs coming.
Customer service.
The cops come and everything. And I talked to the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry I freaked out. He's like, no, I would have freaked out too, but I just didn't want you to go to jail for assault charges when you were the victim. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. But yeah, it's like,
he crashed and he just died in his car. I don't know what happened.
Well,
imagine what else that guy does when he has stressful days, right?
I know.
Just gets stressed out, walks outside, punches a lady in the face. I've had a stressful week. Fuck you.
If only that was an acceptable excuse, like the guy that like shoots up the mall or what. It's been a stressful month, man.
He just like goes to a park and just closes his eyes and just starts
mowing people down. Yeah,
it's shooting. I don't know if I'm gonna hit anybody.
It's been a stressful
month. I'm not trying
month,
to kill anybody. I'm just blowing off steam.
Yeah, the
It's been a rough week.
By with you being stressed, the worst of a crime you can commit.
You bottle the stress in, and you might earn a mass shooting next month.
Exactly. You've like had a rough year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. You can like detonate like a tactical nuke or something like that in like a minor city, you know, like an Omaha or like an Akron
Ames,
type.
Iowa.
Yeah, like Akron, Ohio.
I don't know if there's really any crime that you could like get away with because you're having a bad day. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely
man.
none. No, like
at least one in like a civil case. You know what I mean?
If you're like an attractive woman and you run a stoplight, you might be able to pull it off.
You know what though? Actually, I guess. How about this? You walk in, your wife's just getting fucking her boots to Jesus by some dude.
Yeah.
You fucking shoot him. It's a crime of passion. You get acquitted. You had a bad day.
You had a bad day.
Having a bad day.
That's true.
I think that might be the only one. It might be the only one.
Is that every state where they have the crime of passion law?
I think it's to different extents, but everyone has
Texas
one.
Does, yeah.
Texas does. In Texas, if your wife looks at another man, you can shoot her.
Well,
right
it's
in the
like
tits.
in Texas, you can start dating a 16-year-old when you're 18, and it's okay.
Well,
and they grow up and like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like
Romeo and Juliet.
Actually, that's how the military is too. According to military law, not like U.S. or state law, the age of consent 16.
Oh, wow. Really? Well, like I mean, and
Does
there's
the person have to be in the military too? It's like
No, like
I'm invoking military law.
so military law works. Military law works separate from civilian law. So like you could get charged for the same crime in both civilian and in the military.
Right.
So, like if you were in the armed military and you like stole some shit, you could go time in the civilian military, like in the military prison, and then get out and go do prison like for.
So you get double teamed. That fucking sucks.
Yeah,
that fucking blows. What about like with like child soldiers? What if they?
What do you mean?
Age of consent. What if you're like in Africa and you like fall in love with like a 10-year-old?
I think you would still get charged under military law for that.
Okay, I was just making sure.
I mean, hypothetically,
in theory.
Now that you went there with like 10-year-olds, I feel way more comfortable about the shit that popped into my head a few minutes ago.
Go ahead.
I'm going to now share with you. So you were talking about like you can't let that shit build up, otherwise you're going to shoot up a school, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why like domestic abusers never shoot up schools because
they let it all out.
Just a little bit out every day.
That's a good bit.
A little bit
Hey, he's actually doing a service. Like he could either punch his wife a couple times a week, or he could go walk into a mall with a bomb strapped to his chest. What would you rather
this
have?
Is a male. Women hit men too.
No, they don't.
Not hard.
They hit beta males.
Alex Jones got his ass beat by his wife.
So did Tiger Woods.
Did you hear about that?
No.
It was recently. His wife like accused him of
Christmas.
Yeah. His wife accused him of cheating on her while they were bathing their infant child. And she hit him in the face like 20 times.
Oh.
Started taking like a big ass rock from the garden and like threw it at his head. It's
somehow still not the worst thing to happen to Alex Jones.
No, it's not. It's like when he was wrongfully accused of perpetrating the truth that Sandy Hook was fake, right? Like that was.
Hey, he predicted Epstein like 10 years ago.
He predicted
called it. He called it.
He predicted.
He didn't predict. He knew it. Yeah.
Dude, what's the big guy that in LA that got charged with raping all the fucking actresses? What's his name?
Weinstein.
Weinstein. Yeah, he said the Weinstein shit too.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been right about so much shit. The problem is he was just wrong about the absolute worst thing to be wrong about.
When you just spout off crazy ideas, some are bound to land.
Yeah, it's like shooting like It's like going like 19 for 20 from the free throw range, but the one you miss is an air ball that would have tied the game. Like it's that bad of a fucking miss.
Knocked a baby's lady's baby out of her hand.
Yeah, exactly. It was that bad.
Fucking went into the stands and knocked some guy off the fucking like 8th story over the stairwell thing to where the players come out, and he fucking dies. Like, just the
absolute worst thing you could be wrong about. It just happened to be what he was wrong about. Like it's so.
So you were saying, like we were like women don't hit men.
Yeah.
I got a hilarious domestic violence call.
Hold that thought. Keep talking. I'm gonna piss and I'll be right back. Keep talking to each other, and I'll hear it.
We'll put that on hold. Noah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I haven't eaten a thing today, so I'm feeling this bourbon. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm good.
Right. I had to go smash a cheeseburger from McDonald's right before I got here for the same reason.
I mean, I'm good, but also you're definitely driving to Lincoln later. But yeah,
I got a half bottle of Crown Royal in the fucking top of the fridge from Christmas time. I'm thinking about going and cracking that.
Oh, is it just straight Crown Royal, or is it
it's just regular
flavored
Crown
ones?
Royal.
You got some good flavors.
Green apple.
That cream one. The Crown and Coke is like my go-to like mixed drink. So that cream Crown Royal plus Coke.
Oh, I haven't had that. I haven't had to try that.
That's good, man.
Brent's wife the other day introduced me to Vanilla Jim Beam. Incredible.
So
that's
Vanilla
the
Jim
movie.
Beam.
Yeah. Have you seen the like cream soda Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
That's like a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's bound to happen at some point in my house, at least.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I love, I know a lot of guys don't. I love flavored booze. Like I love flavored whiskey. I love Bird Dog. Bird Dog's got so many good flavors of whiskey.
I'm sorry. Men in my family traditionally have terrible bladders, especially when we've been drinking. So I had to go get that.
That's a sign of a bad prostate. I could check it for you.
I'm good. Thank you.
I was a medical professional.
I'm good. Thank you.
Has there ever been a situation as a paramedic where you just had to like, oh God, hey, everybody get back. I need to get this guy a prostate exam. Like,
no, but I have stuck a thermometer in a cop's ass. That's another great story.
tell the one you were going to tell, and then tell the cop's ass.
All right. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and the station I'm working is out in like the rich area of Austin. So kind of like the Westlake area. We get a call for is a hemorrhage. So somebody's bleeding.
Sure. So
I walk in the house and this guy is standing over the sink and his nose is just pouring blood. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I tripped and landed on the coffee table and my nose is all busted open. I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And he like sits up. And his nose is split like this, like a V. God. So he goes like this, and it just like flips out. Like I can see the cartilage.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh shit, man. And the whole time him and his wife are being super passive aggressive to each other. He's like, thanks for this, Jill. Thanks for calling, Jill. And she's like, you're welcome, Jeremy. And I'm just like, Jesus, what is going on? They're obviously both drunk, right? And then like I start to like walk around the house and I'm like, so what happened? He's like, I fucking tripped and hit my face on the coffee table. I'm looking and I'm like, that's fucking white carpet, bro. There ain't no blood over here.
Right, yeah.
I was like, no blood down there. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. This is probably fine. So I'm like, hey, you're going to have to go to the hospital. He's like, no. I was like, yeah, you got to. Your nose is about to fall off.
Right.
Like Voldemort here in a minute.
Yeah, you need surgery.
And so we get in the car or in the ambulance. And he's like a big dude, right? He used to be a rugby player. And we're driving to the hospital and he's like drunk and mumbling. And he's like, I can't believe that bitch hit me with a pan. And I go, whoa, she hit you with a pan?
Jesus
And he was like, I didn't say that. And I was like, you literally fucking said it, bro.
Right. I have principles, right? I would never lay my hands on a woman, if I was angry or anything like that. But the second you come after me with a fucking pan, you are an assailant and I will pop you in your fucking mouth. I don't give a shit who you are.
What did she think was going to happen? Like a fucking cartoon? It was just going to go blam and like the fucking letters were.
You know what she thought was going to happen? Exactly what did. I didn't call the cops because he's a fucking dude. Like, fuck off. Like, block it, bro. Like, what are you doing? And I was like,
yeah, dude, that's dirty,
like if that would have been a woman, I'd have beat the shit out of that guy. Instead, she hits him, and I was like, I should have dodged it, bro. Like, what are you doing? Obviously, you knew she was crazy. You're rich, bro. Like, she's hot. Like, you knew she was crazy. Like, what are you doing?
No. You come at me with a pan, and it's fucking I'm throwing hands. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck who you are.
If this dude would have hit her, She'd have died for sure.
Well,
she was one of them hot little Austin soccer moms.
Yeah.
And he was like a big, I mean, he had to have been like 6'3", 290.
Yeah.
He was fucking huge.
Oh, so maybe he could have just taken it.
Yeah. But, I was like, what? Why'd you let her, like just put your hand up. That's all you got to do. Yeah. But then I kind of felt bad. I was like, man, I'm such a hypocrite because I would have called the cops on that guy for sure.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. I was like, yeah, whatever.
You could have Johnny. Do you think he didn't get fucking Johnny Depp?
That guy could have punched her in the face and almost knocked her nose off.
Fucking hemorrhaged her,
dude. Yeah. Like open palm slap.
It would have
knocked her nose off.
Well, that's probably not the first time things have escalated to violence between those two.
I'm sure not.
Would be my guess, because usually there's a couple incidents before the EMTs and the cops get there.
Yeah,
so,
she cat scratched him a couple times.
What do you think he did?
Probably fucking some fucking suit. He probably forgot to take the trash out or something.
He didn't take the hamburger patties out.
He forgot to take the meat out of the freezer.
He didn't turn the fucking crock pot on in the morning before he left for work.
The chicken was still frozen.
What do you mean the chicken is still frozen?
What are we gonna fucking eat, Jeremy? I had the crock pot sitting out for you to turn on, and now we can't eat it.
We cannot eat Burger King every night.
Good one fucking job, Jeremy. Crack.
Well, he probably had it coming if that was the case. I mean, it's frustrating having to fucking eat fast food.
Let's be honest. When a male gets hit by a female, we almost always deserve it.
Usually, well, there are some chicks that are just fucking nuts, but probably 70% of the time, if you pissed a chick off to the point she's gonna hit you, you probably fucked up pretty bad.
You ever seen that clip? You ever seen that clip of Denzel Curry on a podcast? And he's like, yeah, my girl was like beating the shit out of me. And the cops came and they got her. And they're like, why was she beating the shit out of you? And he's like, oh, she says I was cheating on her. And the girl's like, were you? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, why'd you pause? And he's like, because I was lying.
See, even the crazy ones, you're like, there's some crazy bitches out there. Yeah, but like if you get hit by a crazy bitch, you're probably fucking her, which means you knew the risks going in.
Right. See, I had a friend that was dating, and I won't say his name because I think he listens to this show sometimes, but he was dating this girl that he worked with that was engaged to this guy and owned a home with this guy who had been discharged from the military because his PTSD was too severe. So like I was asking him, of course, I'm like, what kind of flowers do you want at your funeral? Like the important questions.
He's literally being a Jody boy, dude.
Literally, but the guy lived here and knew this was the whole situation. This is how fucked up it is. I won't out the guy, but this is how fucked up it is. There was a point they were watching TV on the couch together, all three of them, just sitting there watching TV. And the guy like turns to him and goes, so do you just live here now or what? And my friend got a smart mouth with him and he's like, yeah, I do, to fuck your, or something stupid like that, and told him to fuck off. And the guy stormed out. I'm like, you're in his house fucking his wife. Show him some respect.
Right. A little respect, bro.
Cool. It's the least you could do, right? So like,
the least you could do is call him sir.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so the guy leaves, doesn't come back till 4 a.m, falling over drunk, and my friend's still there, sleeping on the couch. And he's like, I wake up to the guy just throwing haymakers at me. The cops got called and everything. And like, he went to the sheriff to file a police report for felony assault on the guy. And I'm like, you should have just taken your L. Like, you should not have run to the cops with that. Like, you were totally in the wrong. You got your ass beat. You should have just fucking moved on. But he went to the cops and he's like, yeah, the sheriff deputy told me. She's like, you know, morally, he was right, but we have to press charges. I'm like, dude, the sheriff's deputy told you deserve to get your ass beat. Like, you should.
That is a kind of a bitch move, getting your ass kicked for fucking somebody's wife and then going to the police.
Going to the police. Like, I'm gonna go tell on you now.
I'm gonna tell.
I always thought it was funny when I was first started dating my wife. Her mom sat us down and had this conversation with us about like getting physical, like violently, and like hitting each other. And I was like, in my head, when I was having this conversation, I was like, okay, well, either she thinks that I'm going to beat her daughter, or like something, I'm not getting something because there's no, like, it was like unprompted, right? Like there was no reason why she would ever bring this up unless she knew that either I was doing something or something else.
Yeah.
It turns out she like later told us, she was like, well, what actually is going on is that when like my husband and I were dating, like I would get too aggressive with him joking, like I would hit him and like just like hitting each other back and forth, and like it eventually escalated and it was a problem. So I don't want that to happen to you guys.
Oh my God.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Mom.
It was a great time.
That's hilarious.
Your girl's parents give you advice. Mine just leave us out to dry. We don't get any advice. We're just expected to figure it out when things randomly turn into fist fights.
That's so funny that they used to play together like that. Like my wife still has scars on her knees, and not from what you think.
Oh,
like she used to try to like think she was tough and try to like, she would like try to fight me or jits me and
sure.
And like she did like 2 jits classes and was like, oh, I can fucking crush you. And I was like, I guarantee I'll escape mount. Like you can mount me all day and I'll just throw you off and fucking chuck the shit out of you. Yeah. She's like, no chance. So she tried to grapple me for like 30 minutes, scrapes up her legs. And then she's like, well, you couldn't choke me out. And I was like,
oh God, it's the famous last words.
And she was like, no, I know. I just got to dig my chin. And I was like, babe, okay. She's like, do it. And I was like, we're not doing this. And like, I think both of you have met my wife. She's pretty aggressive. Yeah. She's gonna fucking win. So like she forces me to rear naked choke her.
Oh God.
And then had a full-on drunken panic attack.
Are you admitting to a felony right now?
I am. There was consent. I was like, oh God damn it. I'm gonna go to jail tonight for something that she made me do.
Did you put her to sleep?
No. Oh. But like she tapped and then had a panic attack because she realized that I could easily murder her, I guess. I don't know. But lost her shit. And I was like, oh my God, if I go to jail for you goading me into choking you, I'm gonna be so pissed.
See, I fucking dude, that shit's crazy. Like I started doing it like before I fucked my neck up and then my foot up, but I was doing jujitsu with Tim Locklear, who's been on the show a couple of times, and he used to do comedy here. And dude, getting choked, you see fucking God. You don't even realize it.
It's like, a weird experience.
You fucking, but it's not like painful. Like, cause I've had like injuries from doing jujitsu and they heal up in like a day. Whereas like I've had injuries from basketball when I was 7 years old or 7 years ago that still haunt me to this day.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fucking weird. Like that you get choked out. And it's a different because it's not the kind of choke where it cuts off the oxygen. It's your blood.
It's the blood choke.
Yeah. So everything just starts to fade. And that's apparently how death feels. I don't know.
You're just gonna drift away.
Everything
I've had rolling injuries where somebody cranked a little too hard in an arm bar and my fucking shoulder was like numb for like a fucking week from that. Oof. So
yeah, I did a couple classes at the Premier Center here.
I trained there for a while.
I did a couple classes there. And it was it's incredible the feeling of like helplessness you have when somebody sinks it in tight, dude.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll die now.
Yeah. It's like,
nothing you can do.
Literally.
We were drilling. I remember we were drilling and I was with this dude who was also pretty new. He'd only been doing it for like 6 months, but consistently.
Yeah.
And it was like one of my first classes there. So this guy like rolls over me or whatever. I try to to post my arm and like get up, and he gets me in like the cleanest guillotine and just drops his full body weight on my neck. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, hey man, like,
what are you doing?
You're not a professional fighter. Yeah. Like you don't have a fight coming up. Like,
calm down here. Right. Yeah.
Let's relax. All right. Yeah. Like there's no need for you to put your 190-pound body on my neck, but all right, whatever. But like the next thought in my head was like, okay, like this is what it's like to like be killed. Yeah. Because there's nothing I can do.
Are any of you guys familiar with what the move that Gogoplata is?
Yeah.
It's a move where you basically are like in the guard position where you're and you get like your leg, like the flat part of your bone of like your shin, and press it up against the neck.
Oh, Tim's done that to me.
Yeah, you basically pull. Yeah, and I didn't know what the fuck that was because this one guy was a real bone, like scrawny guy, and those guys are usually the ones that are really good at fucking
for sure. It's all fucking sinew and bones.
Yeah, dude, he got me with that. It's like so hard and so fast too. Like, because he just went and got in the guard and then fucking did that real quick. I literally went like,
yeah, sound like a fucking cat.
Yeah, I sounded like somebody stepped on a cat. Like I was like, "What the fuck sound did I just make?"
Just activated your gag reflex.
I just wouldn't because like Tim asked me one time. He's like, because he was trying to get me to do jujitsu, and I'm like, I finally caved because he's like, "What would you do if someone broke in your house?" I'm like, I'd shoot them. And he goes, well, "What would you do if they took your gun?" I'm like, "I'd probably die."
I'd get on my knees or put my hands up.
What do you want, sir? Go take it. Yeah, I don't know what you like. Yeah, but he's like, well, why don't you come with me? And he really I think he just did it so he could choke me out a couple times.
I've been wanting to get back into that. I
did too.
It's a time commitment, though.
It's a time commitment. It's a money commitment. Yes. And every fucking time I start getting like healing, I break something. And that's where I'm at right now.
I only did like a handful of classes. I didn't do a lot. So it was like just really fun. And also the best workout I've ever had.
For real.
Like
you work out everything.
I've ever had in one moment.
Muscles you don't use.
Yes.
Like you work out.
Like your butt cheeks is sore. Like I didn't know there was a muscle there.
Yep.
You knew that got sore.
Yeah.
Other experiences.
Are you sure you were? Yeah. Are you sure you were at a jiu-jitsu class or?
All I know is
I have been trying so hard for the last year. I have a connection with a boxing gym. I won't name them on the show because I don't know if they probably don't want to be associated with us, but a boxing gym in like South Omaha. You probably have heard of them. Yeah, starts with a V.
Boxing gym?
Yeah, the only one. Starts.
The only boxing gym.
But I have been, because I have a connection with them. I have been trying to set up a fundraiser because this is a charity. Like they're a charity type place. It's like a nonprofit. They do really good things for the community. So I've been trying to set up like a fundraiser for them that would go as a comedy show. And then after the comedy show, the comedians would box each other.
Oh, I'm so, hey, I have a record.
The
100%.
So here's the thing. So like they would have to be weight class and then people like you that have actually fought professionally.
It's not happened. It's never happened.
You can't. Yeah.
That's not fair.
It'd have to be like sanctioned by the state. So like the problem is, like, because it's you'd have to register everyone as like an amateur fighter and organize all that, and I just don't know. It's just such a pain in the ass because nobody wants to get sued.
In boxing you do if you do USA boxing. Yeah. Now what you could do is you could put on a kickboxing show, and that shit doesn't have to be you don't have to register for kickboxing. You could there's supposed to be a commission there, but they don't give a fuck.
Like, they just let you fucking go at it.
Yeah, you can fucking do that.
There's so many, like, it would be great. We'd raise money for a good cause. People could do their sets. And, like, there's so many motherfuckers in this scene that have beef with each other. Let's fucking squash that shit.
Bro.
Let's fucking squash that shit.
When I started fighting, this was back in the days. It was like, God, I think I had my first fight back in 2007.
Yeah,
2007, and we used to host this show. It was at a bar in Waterloo, Iowa.
It was a comedy show?
No.
Oh,
fight.
It's a fight
we
show.
used to host this fight show, and it was in a boxing ring. We'd bring the boxing ring and we'd set it up, and all you had to do was walk in the door, just like a fucking open mic, and put your name on the list.
Oh shit!
Step on the scale, and we would match you against other people.
It's like some shit in a movie or something.
Bro, there were these frat bros coming in, right? And I was the announcer, and I would talk mad.
It's fucking Fight Club. You were Brad Pitt.
It was amazing. And then one night, I fucked with this group of frat kids. I was like, fuck you guys. You look like a bunch of fucking douchebags. And I was just talking shit. And they were like, fuck you. I'd fight you. And then the promoter was like, will you fight them? And I was like, well, I'll fight one of them. Sure. And so he was like, you'll fight the announcer. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, all right, next Sunday we'll come in and fight.
Was it kickboxing or?
Yeah. We were like, we'll do a kickboxing fight. And the guy was like, for sure. Came out, and I fought this fucking frat kid at a show for free just because.
Did you beat the shit out of him?
Fuck yeah!
I hope it was just merciless
for 3 rounds too. Every time I started hurting him, I pulled back.
You let up, so you could hit him again.
Yep. So they would have quit. I was like, I'm not gonna let you go down. Yeah, it was some
one of those good old kicks to the fucking top of their quad area.
Oh yeah, leg kicks
where you fucking feel it for 2 weeks afterwards.
People don't understand how much that shit hurts. I had a friend when I was in Waterloo. He was a big fucker, man. He was like 6'3", 350 pounds. He's one of those big old corn-fed fat guys, right? And he's like, it can't possibly hurt that bad. And I was like, what?
Oh, it can.
Have you ever watched the UFC? That hurts. You think professional fighters limp around for fun?
Get finished from leg kicks.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, it can't possibly hurt that bad. And he puts his leg out and he goes, kick me. He's like, just kick me. And I was like,
Christ.
what? And all my other buddies are like, yeah, do that. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, 100% power. I was like, okay. I fucking kicked him. He literally goes down to a knee, stands back up. Is like, I'm going to go home. And he didn't. It was like 9:00 at night. He fucking left for the rest of the night.
See, you can at least admit when you fuck up, right? Like if you like say you can do some ridiculous athletic feat, just admit when you fucked up, right? Don't be a bitch and just go home. You know what I mean?
I was in the when I was in basic training, I was this guy that was like this short little 5'6" guy, but he did fucking is it taijutsu, the one where the Taiwanese boxing where they wrap up your fucking forearms and shit, and you only do it like the elbows and kicks and shit.
Oh, Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Yeah, so he was like a fucking black belt in Muay Thai or whatever the fuck. Like, and he did a fucking kick like that on my leg one time, like slow motion, to just kind of like show what it was like. And when we were just like fucking around, and like he did it slow motion, and it still fucking hurt. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, you just keep me slow. Like, he was literally just like.
It's like there was a time, like it's just admitting when you're not athletically fit to do the challenge you accepted. Like my brother is a college track athlete, right? One time I bet him that because he was telling me about like the 400 times that you had to qualify. So a 400 is one time around the track, around a football field, right? And he was telling me about like, 50 seconds is like a fucking speed demon. And I'm like, 50 seconds? I bet I could do it in under 50 seconds, which is like Olympic time.
I am essentially an Olympic sprinter.
That's Olympic time. Like 50, like low 50s is like college players, like under 50 is an Olympian. So I essentially bet my brother that I
could be an Olympics.
Play the closest thing to sports I got was I played like rec basketball through the city of Omaha once a week on Sunday nights. I bet him that I could run a 400 in Olympic time. I ran the 250 in under 50 seconds. I was like, how did I do? He's like, well, the first 3 steps were good. Because after that, he goes, it was not good. You did not get close to under 50 seconds.
I had friends in high school that played football, and I went to Omaha South High School, which, if you know anything,
not a football school.
Not a football school.
No,
you know what I mean, it's not. We play soccer.
It's a football school.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to play them in football, and it was like they were happy to be there.
Yeah,
like it was that kind of. The school hasn't cut our funding yet. Oh fuck yeah! Like.
No, but I remember kids in that school to this day. I know a couple of them to this day who are like, "Oh, dude, I ran a 5-second 40." I'm like, "Hey, man, you'd be on the Raiders right now."
Yeah,
like you can run a 5-second 40. He's like, "No, but the coach. I understand. Your coach held the timer. I'm telling you, you didn't run a 5-second 40."
Well, 5 seconds isn't even that fast.
It's not.
That's like a slower offensive lineman in this day and age.
They didn't do that.
No. Well, that's like you realize.
They didn't do that.
It's like you think about like the fastest kids on your team. Like it's just
like
how crazy NFL athletes. Well, yeah, it's like 4.4 and lower is what they want for like running backs, receivers. Like you think about like just how phenomenal professional athletes are. Like the fastest kids on my high school team ran like a 4.7.
Yeah,
like the fastest receiver,
dude,
and that's like a moderately fast offensive lineman in the NFL runs a 4.7. Yeah. It's just crazy.
The craziest athlete I've ever done anything with was a kid in my high school football team that later ended up walking on at Nebraska, playing for the football team there.
Yeah,
as a receiver. Yeah. So like that guy was pretty athletically fucking good, right? He used to play at that level, and I just remember like it didn't look like he was strong. Like he's like 6'3", like really kind of like skinny looking.
Sure.
But like when we would go, he was a play tight end, so they'd go do some of the drills with the linemen with us, where like the popping drills for blocking.
Yeah.
And he would like pop the fucking bag, and I'm like, shit, dude. Like, how's this fucking guy hitting so hard when he weighs like 180 pounds at 6'3"? Like, Jesus Christ, man.
The best athlete I ever saw was this guy. He was, we used to play pickup basketball at these parks out in Millard. And it was this guy, he was from somewhere in Texas. And he was like a 3 or 4 star recruit as a running back, but he had shitty grades. So he went to Iowa Western to get his grades up. And he had like a full ride to Iowa State to play college football. And he had accepted it and everything. And this guy was fucking freak. Like he was out there dunking on people, just athletic. He wasn't a great shot, but who fucking cares when you're 6'3", just 208 pounds of pure muscle and you can dunk on people. And I remember this guy was just a freak athlete. And I remember one time he went up for a dunk, got fouled in the air, came down, smashed his knee, never played football again.
That's such a bummer, man.
Yeah.
Like, I had a buddy who I worked with, shout out Jerry, but he was no, like he had like the talent to like be in the NBA.
Sure.
He played in Europe, like he was in the Euro League, and his plan was to come and then play in the NBA. And like he had like some kind of deal already structured and everything.
Yeah.
And he got injured in Europe.
Oh,
and like he like tore up a bunch of ligaments and stuff, and like he was never the same. But like you see this dude, he worked at this dealership I worked at, and he was like 6'5".
Oh, they're fucking monsters. Yeah.
Monster of a dude, like big, like looks like an.
Didn't realize it. Yeah.
Oh man, you're not supposed to be here.
No.
You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be here.
You guys have seen the Scallenge too. Like Brian Scalabrine, like fucking retired. Brian Scalabrine is still like a crazy.
He destroys people.
Yeah, dude.
It's just so crazy. People don't even realize like how much better they are than us. Like even like shitty boxers. Like my dad had a friend that was a boxer, a professional boxer that never won a fight, and he like still almost went to jail for like almost murdering a guy in a bar fight. Like it's
dude.
No.
I guess that's the thing they say, right? About I've heard like I know we all listen to Rogan. I've heard him say it before, where like guys think they think that they're funny, they think that they can drive, and they think that they can fight.
Yep.
And like,
none of them.
And like
usually.
you probably can't do any of them.
Yeah.
But like that's crazy to see. I guess I'm interested to get your guys' take on how do you guys feel about the recent developments with like Jake Paul and his whole career.
Dude, Jake Paul, I mean, like
I would love to see him fight an actual boxer.
I kind of defend him because for one, the dude only fought dudes that were talking like mad shit to him, right? Like the fucking that basketball player. That's a fucking basketball player.
He's gonna fight Antonio Brown soon. Just watch. I cannot wait.
So he legitimately fought, like he legitimately boxed like a basketball player, like a professional basketball player. I know I would get my ass kicked by any fucking basketball player because they're just good. You know what I mean?
No, he's a legit boxer.
Yeah, he's not gonna go compete against like fucking any of the like best like the.
He's not gonna fight Canelo.
He's not fighting Canelo.
Yeah,
no,
he's not gonna fight Canelo.
Well, he can, but he'll get his ass kicked.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean I think he's what, 8-0?
4-0.
4-0.
He's 4-0.
He looks like a boxer who's fought 4 fights. He doesn't look like some chump that's going out fighting like he actually looks like he trains and tries at what he does.
I'm sure he does.
He's been working. He does train.
You can tell he's gotten better.
He's got money. He's got a fucking really good trainer. He's out there doing it all the fucking time.
He says he
couldn't fight Canelo, but you fucking Mr. Bar Fight guy would probably get your fucking joke.
Oh, for sure. For sure. He trains professionally. He'll beat the shit out of you. That's all. But I'd like to see him fight an actual boxer, not a UFC guy that dabbled in boxing and has been retired for 4 years.
Not only that, but like not a UFC guy that's known for wrestling.
Like Ben Askren?
Yes.
Yeah, who probably took a dive on purpose.
And also Tyron Woodley, right? Like Tyron used to knock people out ever since he got. I mean, he hadn't won a fight in 4 years. He'd been knocked out. His chin was suspect. I love Tyron. I had buddies that trained with Tyron up there. Like I knew Tyron, right? Like he's a good fucking solid dude. But when you got $100 million staring you in the face, I might drop my left hand.
Oh, for
take
sure.
one on the chin. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, Tyron took him the distance. Like
the first time.
I don't think. Yeah, the first time. I don't think that. I think Paul should have been a unanimous decision. But at the same time,
agreed.
He made it a lot closer than it should have been.
There was a no knockout clause in that first fight.
Oh, really?
There was a no knockout clause in that first
fight. I've heard the opposite. I've heard that wasn't true. That was a myth.
Is that Charles Perallo guy?
I looked at
that guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
I used to get under his fucking skin all the time.
I'm sure if that was actually.
I know that guy. I have experience.
I don't think that there was a no knockout clause is because Dana White didn't take the. So he was asked a question about that specifically, and he was like, "I don't know about that," but kind of roasted Paul. So I'm like, I feel like if there was for sure a no knockout clause, Dana White would have definitely roasted him about it.
That would have been all over the
unless he signed it.
Let's cover it.
But who knows?
He won.
I watched watching that fight right when Tyron hit him with that overhand right against the ropes, and you see Paul slump into his arms. That like I've been around enough fights and watched enough fights that I know like that was a flash knockout. He got held up. There was.
You're talking about the first fight.
I'm talking about the first fight, not the second fight, bro.
Okay.
Not the second fight.
I thought.
No.
Okay.
You're talking about homie that looks like Walmart brand John Stamos.
Yeah.
that had that TikTok go viral.
Yeah.
I know that guy. I fucking hate that guy. I wouldn't trust anything he fucking says. He may be right on that, but I don't know.
I'm talking about the first fight.
I'm sorry, I got confused. I thought you were talking about Tyron Woodley taking a fall. I thought.
Oh no,
he got his. Guys are saying that like it was like set up, like he got knocked out.
He got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
that wasn't fake.
Tyron,
the second one.
If you watch the fights in the UFC, like Tyron is known for dropping that left hand because he'll drop it and he'll lunge forward and he'll throw a fucking.
It's a different sport. It's not boxing. Yeah.
But what I would like with the Jake Paul thing, he's growing on me. I hated him at first, but that's because like I'm not a big boxing fan in the first place because I think most of it's fucking rigged and it's a fucking joke the way they judge. But
it's extreme.
I'm not going to
17 belts
right now. But but I would love to see him like if you're gonna box some boxers.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
I think he's working his way up to that, and I think the people that like try to hold it against him, I think are just like being haters on him because it's like those guys that he boxed too. Those guys ain't fucking boxing the fucking Canelos and shit either, man.
I was thinking as well. Is that you take your favorite fighter, your favorite boxer, and go look at their first 4 fights, and
they're all against dudes that are chodes.
That's exactly right. Well, you got to put yourself in his shoes. Would you go fight some fucking no name, or would you fight a guy that was going to get you paid $40 million? You know, it's like that's what it comes down to.
I think the difference though it's not that he fought a dude that was going to make him $40 million. I think the difference was you can't talk mad shit and compare yourself to Floyd Mayweather.
No, not even
and
close.
Then fight a fucking retired
and fight a wrestler,
NBA player,
college, a basketball player.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna fight fucking who was the comedian that just got canceled recently? Fuck, what was
Louis C.K.?
Yeah, he's gonna fight Louis C.K.
Fucking old ass Louis.
Bill Cosby. O.J. Simpson.
Oh, what if Jake Paul had to fight Bill Cosby, but Cosby got to roofie him first?
Oh, it would be close. It would be close.
I would love to watch Jake Paul beat the shit out of Bill Cosby. That'd be fucking awesome.
I think it's time. He doesn't need to fight like you said. Doesn't need to fight Canelo or Terrence Crawford, but maybe go fight a Hammer and Hank Lundy or whatever that guy Terrence Crawford fought.
And I think even I think Tommy Fury, if that fight wouldn't have fallen through, I think that would have been a great fight. Yeah. Tommy's only fought chodes, right? Yeah. So they're on the same level.
Doesn't look
if you look
impressive.
At Tommy's record, he's fought a bunch of dudes that have never won fights before.
Yeah, my take on that is I think it would have ended the same way for Tommy Fury that it ended for Tyrone.
It might have, but I'd have more respect for it.
Fair.
Because you're fighting a boxer, right? Like, because Tyrone's not a boxer. And there's a huge difference. Like, we could sit here and dissect like fight analogies and shit like that, right? But like, there's a huge difference between MMA boxing and regular boxing.
Sure.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot more forgiving. I can drop my hands.
Just the fact that the fucking
shoulder
rolls way different.
Yeah,
everything. Just the fact that the gloves are like heavier in boxing is everything.
Well, you lose habits too. Like in boxing, a shoulder roll is very like useful because you have a 10-ounce glove. So like you can block with your shoulder. Where in MMA, you're getting hit, so you don't even practice that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're not used to it. So then the moments where it could help, you still get hit because you're not used to that. You know what I mean?
Patton Oswalt was who I was going to say he should fight.
You should fight Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt.
He's not canceled.
He took a picture with Dave Chappelle. He's totally canceled.
Yeah, no, he was getting canceled, and then he came out and like said something nice about transgenders. And
I love how he's like posing in the picture. He's like writing in his notebook.
Who's the Star Trek guy?
Will Wheaton.
No, the gay one.
George Takei.
George Takei like shared his post. He was like, he likes us. It's fine. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, all you got to do is to get uncanceled is just to get George Takei to fucking.
That's a problem, man. I would hate to have friends like that. That'd be a bummer.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So what I've always said is like, if you look at people like Rogan and people like fucking like think like Legion of Skanks, Tim Dillon, comedians like that, those guys aren't worried about getting canceled. Like they don't like you spread. Oh, this is
audience.
No, this is a problematic joke he made. They don't fucking care. They'll probably make more money off of it because their audience is cut out.
Sales are going
now. They're not going to get a Patton Oswalt type audience. That's not Joe Rogan, but that's different. But they're not, like the offensive comics. They're not going to get like a Patton Oswalt type audience. So that's cool.
The problem is that people like Patton Oswalt appear in Disney movies.
So right. That's exactly. When you surround yourself with the mob, don't be surprised when the mob turns on you next. That's.
Well, I don't even know if that's what happened. Like, because he was getting some complaints from and I guess he got comments on the post with Dave Chappelle, and then that's why he posted it. But it's like, dude, like these, because he's on the road right now. He's performing as a comic, like doing theaters and stuff. It's like, hey man, those people aren't buying tickets.
No,
the 17 comments you got on your post, they're not buying tickets.
No.
So I think his real worry, if I'm being honest, from where I see, I think he was worried about his gig with like Disney and his gig with Marvel because he's like in all these things. Like
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, he's big with voiceovers.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does the voice for one of the Marvel series, like the cartoons they're animating and like a couple other things. And he does voiceovers for Disney. Like
I just ask, it's like, at what point is your soul not worth it? You know, at what point is your sanity not worth it? Because I've always said, it's like, if you could be like, look at guys like Ari Shaffir, like Tim Dillon, all the guys on Legion of Skanks. So you got Big J. Okerson, fucking Louis J. Gomez, not even at Rogan level, right? But none of those guys are starving. They're driving Mercedes and they're fine, right? Sure. You can make good money being an asshole, right? You can make good money being yourself. Is it worth it to make even more money, like tens of millions of dollars, but constantly looking over your shoulder thinking, am I next?
And also,
like, I just don't think it's worth it.
At the cost of your friendships. Yeah, because you think Dave Chappelle and him is cool now? Like, no. I doubt it. Like that friendship is in trouble now.
No, he's going to be blackballed. Like, because comics, like, even in a local scene like this, if someone did some fucking bullshit, pussy ass bullshit like that, they'd be blackballed for a while at least. It's like, at what point is your sanity just not worth the money? That's what it comes down to.
The other thing too is it fucking funny? Yeah. Like there's a real fine line between you just sounding like a fucking racist dickhead and you being a comic that like that joke is funny, right? Like we're not meant to be taken fucking serious.
No.
Right? Like
we've had that talk with Lavetti before, man. I think Lavetti is a good guy to talk about that because Lavetti will sit up there and do fucking race jokes and stuff all the time. But it's like it's the difference between that one guy comedian that we had that went up there and just said the N-word as a joke and then somebody like actually doing a bit about.
Are you talking about the Seinfeld guy?
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I've seen that one.
But that's why that guy's not in shit.
That's kind of what we were talking about last time too, is when you're doing when your type of comedy is offensive comedy or like not even necessarily being offensive, but it's edgy.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do when you're trying to be funny. Yeah. Like, it's easy to I could go up there and say the most offensive shit.
Yeah.
If I
it's
just
not going to be funny.
Offensive.
Yeah.
But if I want to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Bro, the way I look at it is like you have a spectrum, right? You have funny on this side and not funny at all on this side. Most things are neutral.
Right.
You have toasters, whatever subject you're going to make. Whatever subject you're going to make.
Screwdrivers.
Toasters.
They're right here.
A Pop-Tart. Not funny.
Exactly.
Dropped in a fucking pedophile's tub.
Hilarious.
That's what I think. It's like most things are in like the middle where they're neutral. Sure. You don't feel any way about them. But when you're doing offensive comedy, you're starting on the not funny side and you gotta bring it all the way over.
Well, it's like, I mean, my like 90% of my set's meant to be offensive, right? It's racist, it's sexist, it's homophobic, it makes fun of handicapped people, but whatever, right? But like I'll do stuff and people will be like, how do you know if it's not funny? Like, how do you know if it's too far? I'm like, the audience will tell me because they won't laugh. Yeah. If they don't laugh and I try it like 5 or 6 times and they still don't laugh, I stop fucking saying it. Like, I don't.
You mean you learn a fucking lesson and you change the joke?
I don't fucking like. I know, right? Yeah, I know some people that could take that advice. Like,
you know how I approach jokes like that, whether it's about like a group of people or something like that, whether it's a group of like a race of people or like a class of people, something like that. Whatever it is, I usually try to poke fun or make jokes with what they say about themselves.
Yeah. I mean? Well, it's like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say like Noe, like I was was married to a Mexican girl for a long time, so I lived with a Mexican family, so I know a lot of like what Mexican families like say kind of like about each other. If I'm in a crowd of like in Mexican people and would say something about getting hit with a chancla or some shit, they fucking laugh at that because it's relatable.
It's relatable.
Yeah, I wouldn't be up there being like the fucking border and all that.
Well, it's funny. That's the comics that are the biggest assholes on stage were typically the most like nice people off stage because like we can't be on 24/7 or no one would want to hang out with me. Exactly. Look, I'm sitting here, I'm having bourbon with a Mexican guy. Yes, I patted him down before he came in, checked him for weapons, but he's in my house now, and that's all that matters.
And he was 20 minutes fucking late.
Yeah,
he did bring her now that you say that, I just Caleb saying, "Oh, we're waiting on the other guy." Like, oh, okay, yeah.
No, I just didn't want to be racist. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like It's and I've explained this to other people off camera a lot of times. The people that portray themselves as like allies or whatever, those are the biggest fucking predators. Those are the people that like, oh, you want your time on the stage? You got to earn it by sucking my dick. Like those kind of people. And there's
be proud.
Yeah, that too. There's women that are like it too. Trust me.
You want time on this stage? You got to let me sexually harass you.
There are women that are like that. I won't name them.
I'm gonna start tanning and try to look like Pitbull.
It's just tough, man. Like we all know this, and we've talked about it a million times. But it's like if I find out that somebody puts me on a show because I'm brown, that's like more damaging to my feelings than you not putting me on the show.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Because now you're like, am I funny?
No.
Yeah, why? Exactly. I'm like, okay, well.
I did for Comedy and Chaos. I put the lineups together. I've put shows together. I'm like, well, these are all straight white males. But at that point, it's more offensive to book someone because they're a minority than to just not book them. You know what I mean? Than to just run a show with all white guys. It's more offensive to that person to be like, hey, I'm missing a black on this show. Can you help me out?
I'll say this too about your shows, Caleb, is that in your defense, like you're friends with a lot of comedians in Omaha. So you do a pretty good job at putting on all the comedians in Omaha. You know
that I like.
There is funny ones,
there is something to be said as from a show promoter's perspective. When you're putting a show together, you want someone that everyone can relate to, because you want to. The ultimate goal is to get a big audience and attract as many people as possible. At the end of the day, you want someone that. At least one person on your lineup that everyone can relate to that's going to be at that show. So you want somebody that's not white. You want somebody that's a woman. You want at least one of those. There's something to be said for that. I'm not.
But I think the more important thing though is that you got to find one that you got to find somebody that fits that description, but that they're funny. They're like funny. The bottom fucking
that's the problem. Yeah. And you know I put shows together based on who I think will jive well and who I think will invite the most people. And sometimes it's all white guys. Not often, but sometimes it happens. But Omaha, as small as we are of a city, we've got a big scene and it's really fucking diverse compared to other cities.
I was impressed with that when I got here. So coming from Denver, and when I moved here, I'd been to a Barley Street mic when I came out here to do a job interview and shit. And then I got here and COVID shut everything down. And so when I ventured out for the first time in Omaha, Nebraska, and I sat down and like Tyrell's the first person I saw. And then I meet Noah. And I see DTG, and like this just enormously diverse group of people,
for sure.
And we're talking like when I say diversity, like I get that like our comedy isn't super PC and that's not our style, right? But there's comedy for fucking everybody. Yeah. And the fact that like everybody in existence is represented in this little ass scene is fucking awesome.
It's great. Yeah. And like it's so weird because there's like quality comics here. It's not like I don't even like a Denver type scene where Denver's almost used as like a stepping stone to bigger cities. Like there's comics that have been doing it for a long time that are fucking good here and they travel and they tour.
I'll say too about Omaha is like, I only know like maybe 3 or 4 comedians that specifically kind of brand themselves as like a clean comedian. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's room for it. There's money because there's corporate gigs.
Yeah.
Like it's
and 100%, if that's your thing, I'm not talking shit on it at all. Like, you can go to corporate gigs, which he's done. You know what I mean? Like they have done like fucking think of like just something like Jason Regan, dude. Jason Regan's gone and performed in front of fucking the Nebraska football.
I'm going on the road with him on January 29th. Come to me.
Fuck yeah, we're at
Grand Island.
Oh, there you
go. There's a scene for that. So,
Jason, and you know what's funny though is Jason, because we call our show Harmful Content Comedy, right? Like it's no secret what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Jason Regan's come and killed my show. You can be a clean comic and be funny. You know what I mean?
I think that's kind of what the point he was making is that the biggest requirement should be, are they funny?
Does it make me laugh?
It's funny. It's just funny. It's
obviously I'm a depraved and tortured soul. So I've like it's done some shit and been through some shit. So it takes a little bit more to make me laugh, but there's clean comics that make me laugh my fucking ass off. Are you funny, bitch? I don't care if you're PC and you're not stepping
Austin
on.
Anderson is like the lightest, is like the cleanest dude.
He opened for Tim Dillon. I saw him.
Austin makes me laugh so fucking hard, dude. Like, because he does funny stuff. Like,
Should we end it? We just did like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I know these guys got to get to Lincoln.
That's fine.
This was fun. We'll have you guys back for sure. What's your podcast called?
We haven't made it yet, but it's called Making Light with Brent and Noe.
Okay.
So we'll be making like a whole Instagram account, Facebook account, and a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it'll be on Spotify.
Hopefully
and all that.
You guys will siphon off another 50 listeners just like us. I don't know. We got more than that sometimes, but yeah, no, let's check them out. You guys got dates you want to plug? Anything? Go ahead. Fucking shoot it off.
I'm going to be in Grand Island with Jason Regan at the 40 North Bar.
That sounds like a great time.
Hey, man.
Just fucking with you.
No, yeah, we're going to be there January 29th. And that's really all I really got coming up right now.
Yeah, like he forgets the other fucking show he's on. What an idiot. So I'll plug it for him. January 22nd, we're going to be in Malvern, Iowa.
That's right.
I was supposed to be on that show, but I'm not now. I don't know what
the Malvern one?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
That's weird.
I'll do the next one. It's fine.
Yeah. I think it's me, Noe, Rachel, Ware, David Caskard.
Well, I forgot that I'm on it, so maybe the spot has opened.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Tyrell know you were super disrespectful about his show.
You and I are judging a show this Friday.
Are you, me, and Rachel all judging that show?
The three of us are me, you, and Rachel are judging
Julian's show on
Make It Funny.
Friday, right?
I don't know how that thing works. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm a judge, so I'm just going to tell
me and Noe almost won it.
It's at a sober lounge though, so I'm gonna have to like do some shooters in the parking lot. So
yeah, I'm gonna be so high when I get there.
Well, yeah.
When does this podcast come out?
Probably tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so I have a show this Friday at the Dubliner.
Okay, cool.
Come see me.
Cool. Fuck yeah.
I'm not coming to watch because we've got to judge a show. But
hey, man,
Nick, you got anything?
I'll put out positive vibes for you.
You know me, I'm fucking too busy right now to be doing. I've done a couple. I've been down to the open mic scene down here, man. It's funny because I'm like one of two white comedians.
Yeah,
everyone else is.
You're a commodity. You should get booked as a fucking token.
There's actually more black comedians than Mexican comedians.
That's
here
bizarre
in El Paso,
to me.
Which is
in El Paso,
funny, huh? Yeah, right.
That's I got. Let's see. I got the show we just talked about Friday, Make It Funny at Sober Lounge on 72nd and Blondo. Saturday, Wired Pub. Y'all know the fucking drill. Harmful content comedy. It's our greatest hits of 2021. So we got like everyone that rocked it in 2021 is going to do 2022 to kick us off in a good year. Please come because it's going to be an expensive show for me. I don't want to waste money on it. So buy the tickets. We'll post the fucking link in the description. Promo code BREAD, BREAD, not bread like the weirdo fetish. So make sure you buy the tickets to that, or you can get them $10 at the door, which is great because then we don't have to pay taxes or fees. Not that I'm a tax evader or anything. But yeah, so then we got. What's that?
He's just Italian.
Yeah, I'm Italian. You know, but Dre Liberator and I, who's been a guest, we're gonna have a podcast coming out soon. We're bringing back her show. We're revamping it, making it better, and I'll be a co-host on that. Make sure I'll post links to that and shit once it's all official. Noe and I were dropping a pop punk album in 2022.
Let's fucking go.
We need a guitar player and a bassist. We're legit. We are dropping a pop punk album. Everyone's like, I told people that they're like, okay, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm like, no, we're fucking doing it. Like this is legit going to be a thing. I got a whiny fucking voice. It's going to sound great and it's going to sound terrible at the same time, which is what a pop punk album needs. So if you know like 2 guitar chords and you just learn how to play bass, call me and we'll put you on the album in the band. We don't even have a fucking band name yet. We'll figure this shit out.
I'll throw my studs in and be your manager.
Fuck yes.
Like a manager.
Fuck yes. You give me the keyboard.
Yeah, the shaved head and beard. Yeah.
Listen, baby. Listen.
All I need you to do is sign this contract that says I get 98% of the proceeds. You're gonna get the publicity, baby.
I own your name and likeness.
I own your name and likeness. Your firstborn child is also half mine.
You gotta throw on a cabbie cap and you'll be fine, man.
Yeah, but no, we're legit. We're dropping an album in 2022, maybe early 2023. It's gonna be fucking lit. But yeah, that's all I got. This has been Bread and Circuses. Thank you guys for coming on. Peace the fuck out.
Deuces, everyone. Thanks for coming on, guys.